Have you ever thought? I wonder how many people have ever lived on this planet in total? Who came and who passed? Currently, 7,936,000,000 people live on Earth. It will exceed 8 billion in 2022. When I was born, there were 4 billion people, half as many. In fact, according to this site that shows your estimated world ranking according to your birthday, I am 4,039,379,781. We had just reached 7 billion 11 years ago. When we reached this number, Turkish Airlines made a very good post on Twitter. There are 7 billion people in the world. He was saying there, if you meet every person for a second, it will take you 200 years to meet everyone. There are various human faces in the image below the post. So when we consider the world population, which of these faces do you think is the most typical human? Answer: none. These faces you see all represent the minority. If all humanity had an identity card, we should have put this picture on it. Yes, the world's largest age group is 28, the largest ethnic group is the Han Nation in China, and the most populous country is China. At least until 2050. Next will be India. The similarity between your real identity card and the identity card of this typical world person is much more than you think. Let me give an example from myself. There are 59,304 Chinese people who share the same birthday as me. Then comes 45,135 Indian people. I found this information here. Based on statistics, this site expresses your life journey through dates and numbers. You enter your date of birth, country of birth and your gender. It says how many people you are currently living in the world. For example, I was older than 72% of all people and 73% of people in Turkey. If you want to maximize your communication in the shortest way, you can use the Cambly platform that I have mentioned from time to time. The biggest sale of the year starts now on Cambly, where everyone I recommend is satisfied. So if you have put off learning English until now, today is the right time to make a fresh start. Take private lessons with many different programs, from business English to technology, art, science, or just chat with your instructor if you prefer. One-to-one lessons just you and your instructor. You don't have to worry, you don't have to be afraid of making mistakes, you can even determine how often it will correct you. You can also watch your lessons later and go over your mistakes. In order not to miss the biggest campaign of the year special for spring, make sure to evaluate the link in the explanations section. Even you will not believe how your self-confidence develops in a short time with regular practice. What about all the people who ever lived? Demographers take human history back to 200,000 years ago. During this time when modern Homo sapiens roamed the earth, 109 billion people lived and died. The languages we speak, the food we cook, the music we enjoy, the tools we use. We learned everything we know from them. When we add the 8 billion alive today, we are talking about a total of 117 billion lives. Let's also use an hourglass to visualize this. An hourglass that measures not time, but people passing by. Every grain of sand here represents 10 million people, 140 million babies are born each year. So we add 14 grains of sand to the hourglass. 60 million people die each year, which means that 6 of them went through the hourglass and added to the many people who died in the past. We are somewhere around here right now. At the bottom are 10,900 grains of sand, representing the 109 billion people who have lived and died to this day. About half of them lived and died in the last 2,000 years after Christ. Socrates, who was sentenced to death in 399 BC, lies somewhere here. Half of the people at the bottom of the hourglass are children. because half of the children born before modern times died at a very young age. Only 9 billion people lived and died before they started farming and stock breeding. How many will be born in the future? We don't know. But one thing we do know, the future will be long, the universe will exist for trillions of years. We can use this fact to get an idea of how many grandchildren we might have in the vast future ahead. But an hourglass is not enough to visualize it. We have to imagine a beach covered with sand. Humanity's first 200,000 years have passed. For the first 1 million years, we will have this many grandchildren in the next 800,000 years. Each triangle you see represents as many people as the current world population, 8 billion new babies. The vast majority of people who will live are not yet born. We are just at the beginning of the road. Looking back, we need to remember the people who bequeathed us good things and ask ourselves if we will ever be one of those good people for those who come after us. Because we will be the ancestors of many people. It is up to us what kind of ancestor we will be called.